Welcome once again to your favorite channel, Israeli Math Concept. In this tutorial, I will teach you how to calculate for the mode of group data. Do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel if this is your first time on viewing, and as well follow me on Facebook for subsequent math content of this kind. Let's read out the question we have on the board. The question says, the table below shows the weekly profit in Naira from a mini market. So the first row of the table is about the weekly profit, which could serve as our class interval. And they are the interval of 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and 51 to 60 respectively. Then for the frequencies are 6, 6, 12, 11, 10, and 5. So the question then says, what is the modal weekly profit? Let's go ahead to calculate for the modal weekly profit. Remember, we are taking the topic calculation of mode for group data. So the first thing first, we shall list the formula or state the formula for finding the mode of a grouped data. And the formula is giving us your mode, which is equal to L sub 1 plus, in brackets, delta 1 all over delta 1 plus delta 2. Then close your bracket, and that is multiplied by C. I would like to explain the parameters we have in this formula. For the first instance, which is L sub 1, this simply means the lower class boundary of the modal class. While delta 1 simply stands for the difference between the modal frequency and the frequency of the lower class. That is the class before it. Then for the delta 2, it simply stands for the difference between the modal frequency and the frequency of the higher class. That is the class after it. Then multiplied by our C. The C simply stands for the class size. As we go ahead to find the modal weekly profit, we get to understand these parameters very well. Let's go ahead to do so. First thing first, we draw our table. So for the first column, we have our weekly profit. The weekly profit. And the weekly profit still serves the purpose of the class interval, which is 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, then 31 to 40, then 41 to 50, and the last one, which is 51 to 60. Then for the second column, we have what we call our class boundary. So here is our class boundaries. How do we find the class boundaries? That is very simple. We shall be subtracting 0.5 from every value we have here. Remember, I said that every value we have here, we can call it the class interval. But that is for the lower class interval. While every value we have here, we can as well call it the upper class interval. The upper class interval. Okay? So we shall be subtracting 0.5 from all the values in this lower class interval, and we shall be adding 0.5 to every value we have in this upper class interval. So for this side, we shall be subtracting 0.5, while for this other side, we shall be adding 0.5. Let's go ahead to do that. That is how we find the class boundary. So subtracting 0.5 from 1, we shall say 1 minus 0.5, and that will be 0.5. And that is tending to, because it's a range, so it is tending to adding 0.5 to 10. That is saying 10 plus 0.5, that will give us 10.5. Then subtracting 0.5 from 11 will give us 10.5. And that is tending to adding 0.5 to 20 will give us 20.5. Without wasting the time, you can discover that there is a sequence for which it goes. 10.5 is here. Coming here, we have 10.5. Hence, 20.5 is here. So coming here, we shall have 20.5. Then here will be 30.5. Then here will be 30.5. Then here will be 40.5. Then here will be 40.5. Then we have here as 50.5. Then here will be 50.5. Then the last one will be 60.5. That is adding 0.5 to 60, making it 60.5. That sounds very simple. Then the last column we have is about our frequency. Our frequency. So what are our frequencies? They are very simple. 6, 6, 12, 6, 6, 12, then 11, 10, and 5, 11, 10, and 5. That is very simple to do. Let's go ahead to find the individual parameters we have here. We are starting from the L1, that is L sub 1. So what is the value of L sub 1? Remember I said earlier that L sub 1 simply means the lower class boundary of the modal class. So let's first of all find the modal class. The first thing to do to find your modal class is very simple. Ask yourself which of the frequencies here is the highest. And the highest frequency here is 12. So everything in this given row, everything we have in this given row, we can easily refer them as the modal class. They are special class, okay? Yeah. So that is the modal class. So the L sub 1 simply means the lower class boundary. So here is the class boundary of the modal class, but we are looking for the L sub 1, which is the lower class boundary of the modal class. So here is the upper class boundary of the modal class, and here is the lower class boundary of the modal class, which is 20.5. So L sub 1 will be 20.5. Okay, then our delta 1, that is delta 1, which simply means the difference between the modal frequency. The modal frequency is 12, so we shall say 12 minus the frequency before it, which is 6, minus 6. And of course, 12 minus 6 will simply give us 6. That is the meaning of delta 1. Then our delta 2 is the difference between the modal frequency and the frequency of the higher class. That is the class after it, and that is 11. So we shall say 12 minus 11. So here we have 12 minus 11. And obviously, when we subtract 11 from 12, we're going to have 1. That sounds very simple. Then we are left with our C. Our C is simply the class size. How do you find your class size? That is very simple. Just say 20 minus 10, which is 10. You can as well say 30 minus 20, which is still 10. If you also come for this lower class interval side and also say 21 minus 11, all of them will still give us 10. So our class size is simply 10. That sounds very simple. Let's begin to compute for this formula. Mode, which is what we are trying to find, our mode is equal to L sub 1 is 20.5. So here we have 20.5, then plus in brackets our change in 1, that is delta 1, which we found to be 6. So we substitute it for 6 here, and that is all over change in 1 plus change in 2. So change in 1 is still 6, plus change in 2, that is delta 2, is 1. So plus 1, then multiplied by our class size, which is 10. So here we have 10. So let's go further to solve for this. So we have 20.5 plus in brackets, we have 6 over 6 plus 1 will give us 7, right? Then multiplied by, we have 10 here. So let's go ahead to do that. So here we have 20.5 plus 6 multiplied by 10. Remember, we give us 60. So we have 60 all over 7. Such that This implies 20.5 plus when we divide 60 by 7. So with your calculator, we divide 60 by 7. And dividing 60 by 7, we have 8.57 approximately to two decimal place. So we have 8.57. So when we add 8.57 to 20.5, we have 29.07. So here we have that our mode is equal to 29.07. But remember, we are talking about the value of naira, so it will be in naira. Hence, our modal weekly profit is very simple. That is 29.07 kobo. 29 naira 07 kobo. This is how to calculate for the modal weekly profit, or how to find the mode for grouped data. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, remember to reshare my videos, and as well subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can as well follow me on Facebook for subsequent math content of this kind. Thank you and see you next time. Goodbye.